Every single week, I get an email in my inbox that says the same thing. Christine, we want to move to the Orlando area. We're between 3 different parts of town. We are between Oviedo, Windermere, and Winter Park. Which one should we pick? 3 towns, 3 completely different lives. People pick the wrong one all the time. Not because they did bad research, but because they researched the wrong stuff. They looked at pretty pictures and school ratings, and they never asked the questions that actually decided whether you're happy here in a few years. So today, I'm going to walk you through all 3. At the end of this video, you are going to know which city speaks to you the most. I'm going to break down who would thrive in which city, and honestly, who would end up regretting it. I'm Christine. I'm a real estate agent in the Central Florida area, and I have lived all over Seminole County. I've lived in Winter Park, and I sell a lot in Windermere as well. So let's get into it. Before we go one by one, let's answer the obvious question. Orlando's a big metro. There are dozens of suburbs. I can't even get into all of them today. But why do these 3 keep coming up in every relocation conversation? And here is the honest answer. They each solve a different problem. Winter Park is for people who want walkability, charm, old trees, a really beautiful downtown that they can walk to and like pick up with the family on a Sunday and just like walk around in that really charming downtown. It is the closest thing that Central Florida has to a real historic town center. Oviedo is for people who want great schools. They want more house for the money. It's definitely a little bit more affordable than Winter Park. They want the safe streets, like really, really safe area, like known for it being safe. They want kind of like that low key family life without paying a fortune for it. And Windermere is for people who want space, privacy, lake access, and a luxury lifestyle, and they have the budget to go with it. Boom. If one of those speak to you and one of those don't, you don't even have to finish watching the video because that sums it up right there. But I'm gonna dig into it a lot more, I promise. But that is the whole map right there. Charm, value, and luxury. And what happens when people fall in love with the town photos online when their actual life needs a different town? That's the mistake. That's what this video is here to prevent. Now, a couple things that apply to all 3 so that I don't repeat myself like a million times. The beach. I get this question constantly. How close is the beach? The real answer for all 3 of these areas, you're looking at roughly an hour to an hour and a half, like an hour and 15 minutes-ish, to the Atlantic side, that New Smyrna Beach, Cocoa Beach, what you think of whenever you think of beaches from Orlando, Cape Canaveral, and just that whole like Space Coast stretch. The traffic on Saturday morning in this main season can push that a little bit longer. Now the Gulf side over towards like Clearwater, Anna Maria Island, Tampa, it's closer to 2 hours, definitely. Completely different beaches. So nobody here is a beach town. None of these 3 are a beach town. So let me be very clear about that. If you're picturing waking up to sand, the sunrise on the beach, none of those here are it. What you get is beach access, a day trip, not a beach lifestyle. Most people I work with go once or twice a month, not once or twice a week. So be honest with yourself about which one you actually are and what you want in your Florida home. The airport. This is MCO, Orlando International Airport. This is the big one. There are multiple airports in Orlando, but this is the main one that you'll be traveling in and out of. All 3 of these have reasonable access, but they're not equal. And I'll break down the drive times as we go. If you fly for work or if you've got family that's constantly coming in and you need to go and pick them up more times than you want to, a 20-minute difference each way, 3 or 4 times a month, it can add up pretty fast. And jobs. Central Florida's job economy is broader than what people expect. Yes, tourism, hospitality, those are huge. And spoiler alert, you're going to want to be in Windermere for that. But we've also got serious healthcare cluster, defense and simulation work, aerospace over towards the Space Coast, growing tech and startup scene. UCF is pumping out engineers left and right, and a whole lot of remote workers who moved here for the tax situation and never looked back. So different towns sit closer to different job centers. That's definitely going to come up in your commute and what we're going to talk about. So, all right, let's start with the one that people fall in love with first, and that is Winter Park. Winter Park just does not feel like Florida, and that's why a lot of people move to Winter Park, which is kind of funny. And I think that that's a compliment. I love Florida. I've been here for a long time, but yes, I can understand with the way that they mean it. That's a compliment. When people picture Florida, a lot of people picture strip malls, which is like offensive a little bit, and like Outback Steakhouses, but they also picture palm trees, a Publix in every direction. Winter Park is oak trees. It is brick-lined streets. It is buildings that have been standing for hundreds of years, and Park Avenue is in the heart of it. It's about a mile of shops. I have a whole video on Winter Park, especially like Winter Park versus Oviedo. That's a really, really good video. So that breaks down those two, but this video is going to talk about Windermere also. But across the street from all those shops on Park Ave is Central Park. It's a long green stretch of lawn, has a fountain and a train, the sunrail that goes right through it. That train will actually take you all the way down to Kissimmee and all the way up to, I think, Deltona. So that train is really cool to jump on for a day. Now, people sit out there on that little park on the weekends. There's a farmer's market on Saturday mornings that is packed. You can park your car and just be somewhere. Now, this is kind of rare in Central Florida, so that's the whole draw that people have towards Winter Park. Things to do. So Rollins College is right there. It's a beautiful campus. It's one of the prettiest in the country. It's one of the oldest private colleges, and it's right on Lake Virginia. It gives the whole area this like college town energy. There's lots of youth, lots of young people hanging around without the chaos, because there's not like bars and stuff. They're like open late. There's just not. Even Park Avenue, honestly, like on a Sunday or Saturday night, it closes at like 6 p.m. Like it's dead. The Morse Museum has the Tiffany glass collection. It's beautiful. It's genuinely world class. And most people who move here don't realize it's a big deal until they go. The scenic boat tour. Oh my gosh. I talk about the scenic boat tour all the time. It takes you through all the chain of lakes and all the canals that connect them. It is an hour-long boat ride, and it runs every hour on the hour except for Christmas. It is touristy, but it's also fantastic. Like I, as a local, I've done it multiple times, and I bring everyone who comes into town onto that boat tour. Now, I'm filming this video in July. I do not recommend doing that in July unless you bring like your own umbrella. It's hot here, okay? It's really hot here. But everyone who has gone on it said that that was super cool. In Winter Park, the restaurants are absolutely excellent. That is something that is undeniable. You've got fine dining, you've got amazing coffee shops, you've got places that have been there for 30 years, and the parks. Winter Park does parks better than anyone around here. Mead Botanical Gardens, Craft Azalea Garden right on the lake. It's like a donated 11-acre, it's not a garden, but it's a park, and it's beautiful. Like if you've ever seen any engagement photos from Central Florida, it was probably done in Craft Azalea Park, because it has the sunset, and it's just beautiful. Plus the lakes themselves, the chain of lake runs right through town, and it's stunning. The schools. Okay, so the schools of Winter Park, here's where I need you to pay attention. Winter Park has a very strong school reputation. Winter Park High School is well regarded, and the elementary and middle schools that feed into Winter Park High School draw a lot of families. But this is the single most misunderstood thing about Winter Park real estate, is that there are two zip codes. There are 32789 and 32792. I do a deep dive into this on another one of my videos, so go back onto my YouTube channel and check this out if this is interesting to you. But 32789 is Winter Park proper. It is Orange County. That is Park Avenue, that is the charm, that is all the good stuff and the amazing schools. 32792 is a Winter Park mailing address, but a big chunk of it sits in Seminole County. So different county, different schools, different taxes, really different everything. And I have watched buyers pay a Winter Park premium for the house that was never zoned for Winter Park schools, and they thought that they were buying into those Winter Park schools, and you're not. So make sure that you are working with an agent that knows this area really, really well. The mailing address does not determine the school. So let me say that again, because it costs people a ton of money. You will see a really big price difference between 32789 and 32792. So before you write an offer, before you even get emotionally attached, you need to verify the exact address against the school zone map, not the listing, not what the agent says, not what the listing agent says, not Zillow, the district map. And I can send that to you if you shoot me over an email or a text. All right, let's talk about location here. So MCO, the biggest airport, is a straightforward run. You are 25 to 30 minutes from the airport from Winter Park, and that is about as good as it gets for a suburb this nice. Beach is your standard hour plus to the Atlantic side, of course. And jobs, Winter Park's location is legitimately excellent for commuting. You're close to downtown Orlando, 10 to 15 minutes on a good day. You've got Advent Health. You've got the Orlando Health medical corridors nearby. You've got the Maitland Business District right next door, which is full of professional offices, finance, law, corporate. It really has just about everything that you need for a corporate job. There's also a real professional and creative crowd that lives here in Winter Park. Attorneys, doctors, business owners, people who are doing their own thing. If you are a remote executive who occasionally needs to be somewhere in person, this is a very, very great place to plant your roots and be based out of. The money. Okay, so let's talk about Winter Park. It is in high demand for a reason. Winter Park is expensive, okay? It just is. It is what it is. You are paying a premium for this location, the walkability, the name. When you say that you're from Orlando and you're like, oh yeah, I'm from the Winter Park area, everyone will be like, oh, I've been there, it's beautiful, because it is. The older homes in the historic core, the smaller character-filled homes, they are going to cost you. Newer builds and larger homes in certain pockets, they go way up from there. I mean, for a new construction home that's like 2,400 square feet, we are talking $1.7, $1.8 million and up. You will get less square footage per dollar in Winter Park than almost anything else on this list, especially Oviedo. So that's not a knock. That is just the trade. It is what it is. I paid it. Totally worth it. 10 out of 10, but you are buying the location, not the square footage. And the older homes come with older problems. A lot of them have the cast iron pipes, which some plumbers will say are meant to last forever. And that's like what people in Boston use and blah, blah, blah. And then other plumbers say that that's not good at all. So you'll have to do your own research on that. But original electrical, the roofs that are borrowed time, foundations, grading issues sometimes. So we will get a real inspection that is not a quick one. Some of my home inspections are like 7 hours long. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so let's talk about who should live in Winter Park. If you want custom, not just Starbucks, but like your mom and pop coffee shops, this is a good place for you. If you want to walk to dinner or a short drive to a really, really good dinner spot, this is for you. If you want a cute bookstore, this is for you. If you'd rather have a smaller lot, but be in a great spot, like surrounded by absolutely everything, this is for you. Can't say that all of Winter Park is necessarily quiet. So if you want to be like out of, all of the hustle and bustle, this is not for you. If you value character and old architecture, this is for you. If you are commuting to downtown Orlando, the medical corridors, anywhere like up I-4, this is for you. If you don't have 3 kids and a boat and a lot of stuff, if you want real town and not just a subdivision, Winter Park is for you. You should not live in Winter Park if you need a lot of square footage for your money, if you are on a budget, if you want a brand new house in a brand new community with like the warranty, if you want to buy into like a David Weekley home or a Toll Brothers home, that does not exist anymore in Winter Park. So you can find new construction, but your neighbor might be like a 1940s house that needs to be knocked down. So if you want like a whole subdivision of new houses, that's not it. If you want a huge backyard and a 3-car garage, we can find it for you, but you're going to pay for it. If you are at like the top end of your budget, these old homes, if you're buying an old home in Winter Park, they can have surprises. So I never like my clients to be house poor. We talk through all of this at our consultation. Things are going to pop up. Okay. So if you're like at the top of your budget, let's look at other places. Maybe Maitland, maybe Altamont Springs, maybe Castleberry. There's so many options. All of them are good. If you want quiet and privacy, no, Park Avenue gets busy, especially on the weekends and on event days. And they have events all the time, like all the time. I swear the Sidewalk Art Festival is just like happening every weekend, but it's only twice a year. Okay, so real quick, and then we're heading straight into all of this for Oviedo. If you're watching this and you're actually planning a move here, not someday, but like actually planning, this is the point where a 15-minute conversation will save you months of searching and narrowing down your areas, because I can tell you things on camera. What I can't do on camera is look at your specific budget, your specific commute, your specific kids' ages, and tell you, go look here and not there. That is a conversation and it is free. So email me, the address is in the description, or grab a time directly on my Calendly link. The link is also in the description. So no pressure, no pitch. I'm not going to hound you. You tell me what you're working with and I'll tell you straight if it's one of these 3 cities, and maybe there's other options. There's a million other options. Like if you tell me, hey, we want Oviedo, but we want this price point, I can tell you, okay, if you're like above Oviedo's price point, I can tell you, okay, we need to be looking here, or if you're below, here's an option that's going to be more affordable for you. So this is super customizable. This is your home search. So I would love to walk you through that. Okay, so let's get into Oviedo. Oviedo is one that people don't come in looking for. This is the one they come in and they buy it. I have so many people that, yes, they're like interested in Oviedo, but like Winter Park keeps like popping up, and then I take them to both and then they pick Oviedo. So we'll see about that. It's in Seminole County, Northeast Orlando, and it's honestly one of the most quite like lovely places in all of Central Florida. The vibe is family. I have so many videos on my YouTube page about Oviedo, so dig into that a little bit more, but it is soccer fields on Saturdays. It is the neighbors who know each other. It is the kids riding their bikes to their friends' houses. It is just so cliche, and that is accurate. It also has chickens, actual chickens. They roam around the downtown Oviedo, and they've been doing it for decades. They have their own local following. It is a whole thing in Oviedo, but is no longer a small town. You will drive past chickens, but it's not that small town feel so much anymore. The chickens, they really tell you something about Oviedo. Actually, it's not like trying to be fancy. It's just growing naturally because of all of these reasons that I'm about to get into. Oviedo on the Park is the town center of Oviedo. It's a lake. It's called Center Lake. Has a big lawn. It has an amphitheater, has restaurants, wine bar, shops. They do concerts, food trucks, holiday events. It's the most fun place in Oviedo to go with your family for like all these events. It is truly like the community gathering spot. The parks and the trails are a really big deal here in Oviedo. The Cross Seminole Trail runs through and connects out. Riverside Park is huge. The Oviedo Sports Complex is huge. If you have kids in sports, you are going to spend a lot of time here. And if moving to Oviedo for like Babe Ruth, Little League, and then the schools is what you're really moving to Florida for, like to have just like that stereotypical amazing childhood, you're going to get it in Winter Park and Windermere also, but Oviedo is just chef's kiss. Nature is close to here, the Econ River, the Little Big Econ State Forest, the Black Hammock. I mean, if you are interested in this, please book a call with me because I have so much to tell you, but you can be out in the Florida wilderness in 15 minutes. The restaurants are already solid, but they are improving also. It's not Winter Park's food scene, and I'm not going to pretend like it is, but it has gotten so much better, and it keeps getting better. And you have just about every chain, every errand you need without driving far. And a lot of the Winter Park, like not fast food, like fried food, but like the healthy Winter Park places are coming to Oviedo. So they're coming out to Oviedo slowly but surely. Now, the schools, like I was saying before, this is the number one reason why people move to Oviedo. So let's be honest about it. Seminole County Public Schools has a very strong reputation, and Oviedo schools are probably the biggest part of that. Hagerty High School and Oviedo High School, they draw families specifically. That's the number one thing. But here is the trap. The Oviedo address does not guarantee you Hagerty High or Oviedo High. Just like Winter Park has two different zip codes, Oviedo is even more confusing because it's all the same zip code. So you need an agent if you're really like stuck on having those school zones. You need an agent who knows the area because you can be Oviedo 32765, which is all of Oviedo's zip code, and you can be zoned for Seminole County Public Schools, which are fantastic schools, but you are not going to be in the Oviedo or Hagerty, like true city limit schools that you think you are. So you need to verify the exact street address and against the current Seminole County zoning map before you make an offer every single time. Again, don't trust Zillow. Do not trust listing agents. Do not. I can help you with that. And again, the commute to the beach or the airport, I would say from Oviedo, the beach is a little bit closer because you're already like northeast Orlando. So you can get to New Smyrna Beach in 50 minutes, maybe 55 minutes versus like an hour and 10 minutes from Winter Park. Because from Winter Park, it's kind of hard to get to 417. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty in this video, but, and then getting to the airport, I actually like getting to the airport much better from Oviedo than Winter Park, even though it looks closer on a map. It is all highway from Oviedo. You literally take the 417 down and it drops you into the airport. So I would say that that's much, much better. And then from Oviedo, again, back to the beach thing. From Oviedo, you can take the back roads to the beach. So if the highways are backed up for whatever reason, you can take the back roads to the beach. So I love that. Let's talk about jobs. So UCF is right here in Oviedo's backyard. That is huge. The university itself is a massive employer, and what you've got around it, the research park with simulation, defense, tech companies. I don't know anything about tech companies. That's why I was like, I'm in real estate. Okay, I don't work with tech companies. Lockheed, Siemens, a lot of those engineering places. Huge employers. It's actually fantastic, especially like coming right out of UCF. I have so many friends from getting my master's at UCF who work at these companies and they love them. So if you or your spouse, you work in engineering, defense, simulation, or tech, Oviedo puts you super close to your job. Healthcare is also nearby too. Downtown Orlando is doable. You do have to get on some highways, but it's totally doable. A lot of Oviedo residents are also remote workers. So if you are a remote worker and you just want a safe area, good schools, great neighbors, you didn't need to be near an office at all, Oviedo is amazing. And now this is where Oviedo wins the money. So out of these 3 options, your dollar is going to go further here in Oviedo easily. You'll get more house, more yard, more garage, newer construction for what you pay for in Winter Park or Windermere. So that is definitely a win. And you've got a range too. You have your established neighborhoods with the mature trees, the early 1990 builds. And then you do have newer construction communities. They're still going up, very far and few between, but we have a lot of builds from 2017 and until today. Whereas Winter Park, Windermere, that's much, much, much harder to find. So if you are more focused on the interior of the home, I would definitely go to Oviedo. That is the trade-off. You're just further out. You're a little bit further out to, all the things that you want to do. So if you love a downtown scene, or if you want to be in Winter Park on the weekends, you're just a drive away. So who should live in Oviedo? If schools are your top priority, that's you. If you've got kids or you're planning to and your whole life is going to revolve around them, Oviedo. If you want more house, more yard for your money, Oviedo. If you work near UCF, or maybe maybe you're moving to Orlando and your kids are seniors in high school, or even just in high school at all, and you know that they want to go to UCF, or you want them to go to UCF, Oviedo is going to be it for you. If you want safe, quiet, low drama neighborhoods, this is going to be it for you. Newer homes, this is going to be it for you. Who should not live in Oviedo? If you want to walk to restaurants and bars, unless you're living at the townhomes at Oviedo on the Park, this is not going to be it for you. If you have to be at the airport, this might not be it for you, even though I don't think it's that bad. If you want a dense kind of urban high energy environment, Oviedo might not be it for you. If you are a single person looking to move for the social scene, this might not be it for you. It depends. Reach out to me. We can talk about this. If your daily commute is to downtown Orlando and you really hate driving, this might not be it for you. I hope that helps. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about Windermere. So the feel of Windermere is luxury and play, I would say. It sits southwest Orlando on the Butler Chain of Lakes. It is a connected string of some of the cleanest, prettiest, most expensive lakes in all of Central Florida. The town itself is tiny and it's kind of old school. It has dirt roads, which is part of it. It's honestly kind of cute and charming. I wouldn't say that the rest of Windermere is charming. I would leave that to Winter Park, but it is very old school. We are not changing. But when people say Windermere, they usually mean something bigger than the actual town limits. They mean the whole area, the gated communities, the golf courses, the Isleworth type estates. And if you don't know Isleworth, just Google that right now, or I'll put some pictures up of it or something. Insane mansion neighborhoods. Keens Point is also another really, really affluent gated neighborhood. It is a whole new level of luxury. This space, Windermere, feels private. I would say lots of lakes, lots of water, gated neighborhoods, big lots, half-acre lots. Because again, we're talking luxury homes. So bigger homes, gated neighborhoods, waterfront, long driveways, 3-4 car garages. So if Winter Park is walk to coffee and Oviedo is kids riding bike, Windermere is you probably don't see your neighbor because you're in and out of your house. There's lots to do. You're not super close in proximity necessarily. You're going to have a bigger lot here. So you're not buddy with your neighbor necessarily. Things to do. If you live in Windermere, you're going to need a boat. The Butler Chain is the biggest draw. Boating, skiing, wakeboarding, fishing. There is a really fun sandbar. So if you own a boat or you want to, this might be the perfect area in Central Florida. There are just so many options. Golf is also huge. Multiple serious courses here in Windermere. The country club culture is very real here. And Disney is right there also. I would say if you are moving to Orlando and you want to go to the parks all the time, Windermere is going to be your thing. And there's some other areas right around there, but again, this video is focused on these 3 cities, but Windermere is going to be your place. That is not a small thing. You are minutes from the parks. For some families, that is the whole reason. And for others, it is a traffic headache that they did not think about. So again, that's why I'm making this video. Honestly, the dining and the shopping is more like nice suburban than charming downtown. There's a lot of really, really amazing restaurants here, but you are driving to them and it's going to be like in plazas rather than a walkable main street. The town of Windermere itself is really small. It's only a few spots at the farmer's market. So it's not as big as Park Avenue, like the downtown walkable area. You need a car in Windermere here. Windermere generally zones into the Orange County schools with a strong reputation. Windermere High School is newer and very well regarded. I've heard amazing things. There's a big private school presence in that area too. A lot of families here go private schools. So same warning as like everywhere else. It's especially true in this area because of how fast it's been growing. New schools have opened, zones have been redrawn, and zones will continue to be redrawn again. There's rapid growth. So if you are really wanting a certain school or like an A school, reach out to me and I will help you find all of that. And the commute to the airport and the beach from here, I would say the MCO from Windermere is roughly like 35, 45 minutes, depending on where you are, because you're going like across Orlando instead of up and down Orlando. So you're on the opposite side of town. So it's just a thing. And now Windermere is furthest from the beach from all of these other locations, again, because it's on the west side of Orlando. It's southwest Orlando. So you are the furthest from the beach here in Windermere, but you have Disney. So trade-offs for jobs. There is a big remote and executive population here. A lot of business owners, a lot of people who have made their money somewhere else and came here for the tax situation and the lakes. You have obviously Disney and the whole tourism corridor. That's a major employer. Obviously hospitality management, corporate entertainment, that's going to be huge. Downtown Orlando is doable. It is an I-4 commute and I-4 is I-4. So some days it's fine and some days it's not. Health Central and the West Side medical presence is also nearby, but let's be real, a lot of Windermere is not commuting anywhere. That is part of the appeal. Now, the money. Windermere is the most expensive of the 3, and it's not even close. You are in luxury territory here. Big homes, big lots, gated communities, HOAs with real dues, and a whole different set of carrying costs. And here's the thing that some people just underestimate is the cost of owning here isn't just the mortgage. The HOA fees in these nicer communities are substantial. Some communities have club membership requirements, pool maintenance, lawn service on a big lot can be double. It all adds up. Insurance on a high value home in Florida is its own conversation and it's not a cheap one. And then of course, lakefront adds another layer to the finances entirely. That's a whole other ballgame. That's a whole other YouTube video for you. I've had people qualify for the mortgage and then get blindsided by the everything else. Run the full monthly numbers, not just a loan payment. Maybe I'll do a separate video on how expensive it is to own one of these like mansions in Windermere. So who should live in Windermere? If you want to boat or you want to be on water, that's for you. If privacy and space matter more to you than walkability, this is going to be for you. If you have the budget, you have a real budget, not just like a stretch budget, this is for you. If you work remote or you run your own business from home, or maybe if you're semi-retired and you guys are just like snowbirds, this could definitely be for you. If you want a gated community feel, this is perfect because there's no shortage of gated communities here in Windermere. And if you want Disney access and you want to go to Disney all the time, if you want to go to Disney like maybe once a week, this could be perfect for you. I actually could not envision a better spot of Orlando for you. Who should not live in Windermere? I would say if you want beach access, if you are on any sort of budget, then no. If you want a walkable town center and like a social street where you can like bar hop, I would say no. If you hate I-4, then no. If you want a like neighborhood community energy, this is a very like kind of a private place. I don't have a lot of my Windermere clients say that they like moved for getting to know their neighbors. And I would say if tourist traffic bothers you, you are so close to the parks here that that is probably not going to be your part of town. So if you are moving here or if you are seriously thinking about moving here, email me or book a time on my Calendly. The link is below. Tell me your budget, your commute, your kids' ages. what you want your life to look like in Florida on a day-to-day basis, and I will tell you straight which one of these makes the most sense to you, or if it's somewhere else entirely. I've got all of Orlando on lock. So if you are interested in any of these, or if one of these cities sounds like kind of close, but maybe you have a different budget, or maybe you need to be closer to the airport, or maybe you want to be closer to the beach, but one of these sounds interesting, I can definitely help place you. And I'm not going to sell you on anything. I'm not going to blow up your phone. I'll just tell you what I would tell a friend, because that is the only way that this works long-term for me anyways. And I've got a whole library of deeper videos on each of these areas, full neighborhood tours, pricing breakdown, and the stuff that I don't like about these towns. Those are linked and they're also on my channel. So drop a comment and tell me which one you are leaning towards and what is holding you back in, moving forward on this, whether it's Winter Park, Oviedo, Windermere. I read every single one and I will answer you. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.